Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
finally, we had some technical difficulties with the Senate server. So I guess we're just going to have to do this through my iPad. How about for Senator Tolentino?
Lalabas din si Senator Ramos.
So, pang quorum
Quorum
lang.
pa lang ako.
Sige. So, I'll start mo. Okay. Magandang hapon po. This hearing is called to order. Ngayong hapon, sisilipin natin kung ano ang estado ng internet sa ating bansa at kung kakayanin ba nito suportahan ang ating shift sa new normal. We will tackle the resolutions filed by Senators Recto and Pacquiao on cell sites availability and minimum internet speed requirement for providers. May 73 million internet users sa bansa. This number seemed high until we found out in a recent World Bank report that only 70% of Filipinos are active mobile broadband subscribers o yung mga nag-i-internet gamit ang cellphone. This is lower than the ASEAN regional average of 88%. Even lower is the number of fixed broadband subscribers o yung mga nag-i-internet gamit ang linya sa bahay, which is at 4% compared to the regional average of 10%. The Philippines ranked 110 out of 174 countries in the Speed Test Global Index. Ang bilis ng internet sa bansa ay kalahati lamang ng regional average, ngunit isa tayo sa may pinakamataas na internet cost. Halos katumbas na ng Singapore kung saan di hamak na mas mabilis ang internet natin doon. This is the sad state of internet that we in our country. May gadget nga pero wala namang signal. May signal nga pero wala namang load para makapag-internet. Ayos na gadget. Wala are trying to lead new normal lives at home. Those working from home, the millions of students anxious about online learning, and all those who depend on the digital economy are all waiting for the digital life to get better. The digital life is now the new norm, not just an option. We are now in a race against time to bridge the divide. Closing the gap ASAP must be our top priority. While we work on urgent solutions, we will never stop pushing for long-term policy and regulatory changes that will lower barriers to market entry, such as the amendments to the Public Service Act and the Open Access in Data Transmission Bill, which I co-authored with Senator Ralph Recto. For now, we must capitalize on the current consensus that we need better internet ASAP. This is a venue for solutions. Humahanap po tayo ng paraan para maikonekta sa internet ang mga unserved at underserved communities sa lahat ng sulok ng Pilipinas. We will also be tackling several franchise bills today. We will have those franchise of Cruz, Tandag, and Bayan Tel. This is the first of maybe two more hearings regarding the franchises. We just want to be very careful about this moving forward. I would like to thank and acknowledge the physical presence of Senator Tolentino. Thank you, sir, for providing our quorum today and actually for all other hearings that have been conducted here, including the sessions before we adjourn. Thank you. Senator Tolentino is Vice Chair of the Committee on Public Services. I would also like to acknowledge the online presence of Senator Nancy Binay, and also the online presence of our counterpart in the House, Congressman Johnny Pimentel. Good afternoon, sir. So for this morning, I would like to have the Secretariat read the ones that are present online.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. For today's hearing, we have the following resource persons. From the DICT, Mr. Emmanuel Caintic. From the Department of Education, Mr. Alain Pasco, Mr. Abram Abanil. From the Department of Trade and Industry, we have Ms. Anne-Claire Cabotran, Ms. Angelita Arceliana, Engineer Mario Gaudiano. From the Securities and Exchange Commission, we have Attorney Darwin Soto, Attorney Aljan Lacanaria. From Globe Group of Companies, we have Attorney Froilan M. Castello, Attorney Ariel B. Tubayan.
Good afternoon.
From Smart Communications, we have Attorney Roy Cecil D. Ibay, Attorney Eileen D. Regio. From Dito Telecommunity, we have Attorney Adel Tamano, Attorney Zan Paulo Pacificador. From Converge IT Solutions, Mr. Jesus Romero. From Now Network, we have Engineer Rene L. Rosales. From One Sky, Mr. Efren John Arayata Jr. From Lazada Philippines, we have Attorney Cyril Alfred Castro. We also have Mr. Efren B. Cabotaje, a public school teacher. Mr. Francis Alan Maniego from the Philippine Public School Teachers Association of the Philippines. Ms. Mary Grace Mirandilla Santos from Better Broadband Alliance. Mr. Enrico de los Reyes from Cruz Telephone Company Incorporated. Mr. Alvin T. from Tandag Electric and Telephone Company. And Mr. Eliseo Rio, former Undersecretary of the ICT. That's all, Your Honor.
Thank you again. Ganito lang kasimple yung ating nais gawin ngayong araw. Sorry kasi kanina yata hindi ninyo narinig yung sinabi ko. Ano ba ang estado ng internet connection sa ating bansa? Gaano ba kabilis? Gaano kabagal? Nais natin malaman ano na ba ang mga ginagawa ng providers sa ating bansa sa kanilang serbisyo? Anong ginagawa ng mga regulators katulad ng NTC? Ano nang balita sa mga infrastruktura na dapat idagdag para mas maging magaan ang koneksyon at mabilis? Dahil sa ngayon, marami sa ating mga estudyante ang hindi makakapasok sa kanilang eskwela at kailangan nilang gawing online ang kanilang pag-aaral. At marami rin sa ating mga kababayan ang nakadepende ngayon sa kanilang hanap buhay, pero hindi sila pisikal na pumapasok sa opisina o kung saan man sila dapat pumunta at nasa bahay sila ngayon. So dapat ay maayos ang daloy ng impormasyon. So uunahin natin, siguro, humingi tayo ng update maya-maya sa NTC dahil wala pa yata si Mr. Cordoba sa ngayon. And gusto ko sa kanya marinig mismo kung ano na bang estado ng mga panukala nila o yung mga regulasyon nila para masiguro na maayos ang pagdaloy ng impormasyon. So siguro, kausapin natin yung dalawang providers natin o kung meron tayong resource person na pwedeng magsabi ano ba ang estado ng internet connection sa ating bansa. Siguro yung unahin muna natin siguro yung Converge. Nandito ba yung Converge para magbigay ng presentation?
Yeah, good afternoon, Senator Po. This is Jesus Romero from Converge.
Okay, Mr. Romero, go ahead. Do you have any opening statements or any presentation?
Thank you for inviting us to participate and maybe contribute. So as we were requested, I will be presenting just 2 slides that will talk about the issue on how to improve the internet speed. This is from the perspective of Converge, which is a wired broadband provider. And I would like to start by showing a very simplified diagram of an internet network.
Go ahead.
Please let me know if you would like it discussed in a different manner. I'll try to make it as layman as possible. On the leftmost side is what people typically know as the last mile. So this is the connection from the consumer to the service provider. And today, there are 4 technologies being used. The first one on the top is, of course, wireless or mobile. So mobile devices or wireless devices connecting to a cell site or tower. The other mode is coaxial cable. So for example, Converge many years ago actually started in Central Luzon as a cable TV provider. We still have this network there. It's also something that members of the PCTA and TikTok, the cable TV service provider groups now use. Then there is the copper cable technology, normally DSL. Most of us have probably heard about it. And now the most modern is using fiber optics. So this one is what Converge is now trying to roll out as fast as we can. So fiber optics is one of the most reliable and highest speed technologies in the broadband space. And then in the middle, you see the domestic backbone. So this part naman is where the different cities and regions and islands get connected to each other. So this allows access networks or the last mile networks to connect to other networks and other geographies. And typically is known as the domestic backbone. So for example, a user in Davao wants to connect to a website of a bank in Mandaluyong, and there must be a domestic backbone. The next part, the international cable backhaul. This is needed to be able to connect the Philippines to the outside world. And they are normally connected to the submarine cable stations or cable landing stations in the Philippines. There are several today. There is in Batangas, in Cavite, La Union, Cagayan, Camarines Norte, and Davao, which are owned by two of our largest telcos in the Philippines. And then there is the international submarine cables or subsea cables. So that connects the Philippines to other countries in the world. So for example, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, and US. The last part is the actual content providers or other service providers and other enterprises in the world. So some of the most popular content, as we know, Netflix, YouTube, which have exploded during the lockdown. And then, of course, e-commerce sites globally, service sites like banking or logistics. These are spread out all over the world. Therefore, somebody needs to have a connection there. So if you look at this whole network, so to speak, each of these components must be able to provide sufficient capacity at the lowest possible cost. So maybe to make an analogy, for example, if you're attending a conference in Hong Kong, that will be your global content. And then to fly from Philippines to Hong Kong, you take a plane. Typically, that's flying at 600-700 kilometers per hour, very big plane, and it gets you from Hong Kong to Manila in 1.5 hours. And then from the airport, you need to get to your house. Let's say from Pasay to San Juan. Then you have the highway called the EDSA, and then you take a bus maybe or a car, and then finally the last mile from the airport to your house again. You can take a taxi, a car, a bus. So each of those would actually contribute to your experience being as fast or as slow as possible. So we decided to start with this because each of these components, as I mentioned, have to perform at a very good rate so that you get the fastest possible service. So it cannot be that only one of them is good while the others are bad. So in the case of Converge, we are building the fiber optic lines to the homes. We are building a domestic backbone. Today, we're mainly in the island of Luzon, but we're also trying to build a backbone to um, the Visayas and Mindanao areas. And then today, we partner with the current telcos to be able to use submarine cables to get from the Philippines to our various nodes overseas, like Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, and the US. Any questions for at this stage?
Actually, you mentioned hold on. You mentioned landing sites. How many landing sites are there? So you have, um, for our domestic backbone, is this the same as the landing site? Or the landing site is the cable landing stations, domestic, and then you have the international ones. For the landing sites here, Tarlac, NCR, Cebu, Davao, Batangas, and then Cagayan, NCR, Batangas, Davao, Cavite. Who owns those landing sites?
On the domestic side, Senator, that's a very simplified one. There are many more landing stations actually in the domestic area, but specifically to international, there is today in Batangas, in Nasugbu, in Cavite, in Naik, in La Union, in Cagayan, in Bicol, and in Davao. Except for one, the rest of them are actually owned by PLDT and Globe. And the one that is not owned directly by PLDT or Globe is the one in Cavite, which is a company wherein PLDT is actually a shareholder, Digital Crossing.
Okay, so will the ownership affect the type of service given to other providers that need to use those landing sites?
Um,
Kunyari, ang may-ari ng landing site na yon ay Smart or Globe. Pero may ibang telco company na gagamit. Kunyari, vice versa. Globe has to use the landing site of Smart. Does that happen?
we are able to get services that pass through the cable stations. Although today, in the case of Converge, we are not actually able to enter the cable stations. So we buy the service from PLDT or Globe.
Why is that, sir?
I think it's probably mainly a commercial policy on the part of the owners of the cable station.
So, if let's say there's actually open access to all of those landing stations, will it improve internet speed in our country? Will it be better?
If another service provider has the ability to build a backbone that can reach the cable stations, so in theory, it could reduce the cost for that provider because they can make a one-time investment in terms of capex and then take their capacity and backhaul it, as the term means, backhaul it back to their network, like Pasig or Angeles in the case of Converge.
So tell me, sir, how can we improve internet speed actually? So you're saying by adding more backbones or
Yes, so we have the next slide, Senator.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, so the first part really is to upgrade and modernize the last mile. So as I mentioned earlier, the last mile from the net service provider's network to the customer. So as I mentioned earlier, our company started 20 plus years ago in Central Luzon, using cable modem technology. Cable modem technology works, but at some point, there is a limit to the speed and experience that customers will have. That's why we have since then been building purely fiber optic networks, because fiber optic networks are able to provide substantially more capacity and speed than cable modem. Or in the case of, if you were a telco that used to do landline, you would be using copper networks, or what we know as DSL. That's on the wired broadband side. And as we know, we monitor in the news that the mobile providers are upgrading their networks to 4G and 5G. Again, with the intent of being able to provide um, faster speeds on the last mile. That's the first step, because we need to be able to provide multiple megabits of speed to the home or office of an end user. So that needs to be done. Second, as I mentioned, from the access network, going back to the backbone or the hubs of service provider, are going to the interconnection point with other service providers. We also need to upgrade the domestic backbone. So let's say somebody builds out a fiber optic last mile in Cebu, but then the domestic backbone from Cebu to Manila is actually low speed, then it becomes the bottleneck. And then, as we know, at least in the case of the Philippines, most of our content comes from overseas. So like in the case of Converge, we pull the content from Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and US. Therefore, the international submarine part needs to be upgraded as well. We need more choices there, of course. One today we have quite a few already. Some of them are getting old and use of technology. So it's important that we have more options and new systems that are able to carry much higher capacities. Again, in the end, each of these three legs must be able to provide the right speed, no? The broadband speed that we all are talking about. So that's on the network side, Senator. All of these needs to be done.
Okay.
Then, sorry.
Are you done? I'm sorry.
Not yet. Just two more things, Senator. There is the other aspect of bringing content closer to the end users. Today, most of that content comes from overseas. However, there are now technologies that allow it to be localized. So, for example, if you watch Netflix or YouTube or Facebook videos, those OTTs have actually put in what they call a local cache in the Philippines, so that when you access those videos, they are served from inside our country and then delivered directly to our customer. So that allows the experience to be better. And then, of course, the other aspect is interconnection among networks, so that if a end user on network A wants to access a government website on network B, then that should be as short as possible, instead of having to go a long distance, maybe overseas or something like that. And then doing all of this actually requires a lot of physical work, and I think that has been discussed in over and over. If the service providers are willing and able to invest in the access, domestic and international, the industry would like some support to help us accelerate the work we're trying to do, and also remove impediments to making these investments and then making the job done. So in short, that the work we do in the industry is very capital intensive. So it comes at a very high cost. And one thing to note, because even my family says, Dad, why is internet in Singapore so cheap, but in the Philippines it's not the same? Sometimes we have to remember countries like Singapore and Hong Kong are very small and compact. Second, if you make the same comparison to Indonesia, Thailand, and Indonesia is almost like Philippines. Let's say Thailand and Vietnam, they are one land mass only. Unlike the Philippines, which is an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands. So our investment to connect the country tends to be higher than a country like small city-states like Hong Kong, Singapore, or large land masses like Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia. And then the other part is that it is very time-consuming. So we have to abide by all of the current regulations. That's why, at least in the case of Converge, what we just do is we try to apply everywhere we can. Sometimes they get approved, sometimes they don't get approved. But if something gets approved, then we immediately build. So to our mind, from technology, investment, and maybe support in terms of a little bit of regulation, these are some of the things that we think will really help, so that we can finally address the issue of how to increase internet speeds in the Philippines.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Romero. When a
So that is our last slide, Senator. Nawala yan.
Mr. Romero?
Yes, no.
Okay. When a landing site is built at any point in time before an update, it will have a maximum amount of data that can pass through it at once. Correct?
Yes. Yes po.
Okay. So a landing site owner can always increase the throughput amount by upgrading software or upgrading or adding hardware, right? Servers and cables.
Yes.
Okay. So this is my question for one of the owners of a landing site. Maybe Globe can answer this. Do we have a Globe representative? Is it Attorney Castello?
Can you repeat it again? There's a lot of noise around you.
Okay. So my question for you, for your landing sites, are you at maximum capacity already? If not, how many years before you reach max capacity of your current configuration? When do you anticipate upgrading?
Thank you, Madam Senator, and good afternoon to everyone. Right now, Globe has 3 international cable landing stations located in Ballesteros, Cagayan, Nasugbu, Batangas, and in Davao. We're contemplating of having another one, because right now it's our business model that 80% of which should have be capacitized. And we're thinking now that in a couple of years we may be reaching the maximum. So right now we're thinking of building another one, Your Honor. And that's still at the planning stage, by the way.
So, sir, if you're saying that you will reach capacity in a few years, how many years exactly?
This COVID, this pandemic may have progressed it considerably. If this pandemic will not stay with us for a longer time, then it will be accelerated. And we shall be planning to have that fourth international cable landing station in a very uh, immediate time.
How soon?
Right now, we are finding a location for that fourth station, Your Honor.
See, Attorney Castello, it's not very, unless I'm not hearing you properly. I'll go back to my question. When do you anticipate that you will reach maximum capacity in your landing station
Maybe, ma'am, just to, as a rough estimate, maybe in a matter of 5 to 7 years.
to build a landing
A landing to build
station?
a landing station. Uh, the station itself is easy to build because it is just a manhole and maybe just an ordinary building. But it's the laying of the submarine cable and landing into the Philippines will be the most challenging, difficult. You have to have international correspondence as well, other telcos from other countries.
How long will it be to have those marine cables installed?
Our experience that it will take about 1 year to 1.5 years, Madam Senator.
Just to recap, you'll be at capacity in 5 to 7 years. It takes about 2 years just to be sure to have the landing site and the cables laid out. But that's also capital intensive, and it's better to have like a counterpart investor somewhere.
It
Am I
is, Your
correct?
Honor. It is, Your Honor. For the Philippine contribution, that will be around $200 million, more or less.
From the Philippines. But actually, I think Globe has spent more than that in the past years, right? For
Yes, Your
your
Honor.
capitalization.
We did. Yes, we just need to budget it, Your Honor. But that's I think how much. Correct me. The other telcos may correct me, but that's about the cost for an international for the contribution of the on the Philippine side, Your Honor. About
Just
two hundred
Smart
million
can
dollars.
also Smart. Do you have a Smart representative present?
Uh, Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Yeah. For your landing sites, and if not, do you anticipate when that will be and what you're doing to increase capacity?
Madam Chair, currently the PLDT Group has 4 landing stations, one in Cavite, another one in Daet, the third is in Batangas, and then there's another one in La Union. Currently, we have 3 more landing stations or submarine cable projects that are in the pipeline. They are specifically the Jupiter, ADC, uh, and the Apricot cable landing projects, which will span from now until 2023, Madam Chair.
Oh, okay. So you've not actually reached capacity yet, right?
Madam Chair, I have to get back to you on that in terms of what our present capacity is. But what I know is that we still have capacity available, although currently because of the pandemic, the load really increased, no, during the pandemic. In fact, the traffic, but good that we were able to adjust. Originally, our focus was really to was really focused on the central business district. But good thing, before the pandemic started, we were able to shift a lot of this bandwidth to the consumer or to the residential areas.
Okay. Um, the reason why I'm asking this, as it seems to me, the impression I'm getting from your statement is that we are actually reaching capacity now, at least in the situation of smart landing stations. But you are building a few more to be able to meet the demand. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes, Madam Chair.
Will those additional landing stations be available?
Uh, well, for the first one, on the Jupiter landing station, we might request for, well, the project might be initiated by middle next year. And then for the ADC landing station, this might be by 2022. And then for the Apricot, this might be for 2023, Madam Chair.
Bakit yan yung mga pangalan? Jupiter, Apricot, are those actual places? Or the names you gave the sites?
That's the name. That's the names of the project, Madam Chair. As to why they actually named those in particular, I have no idea, Madam Chair.
Kala ko sa space kayo maglalagay ng mga landing stations. Anyway, okay. I might as well ask, since we have a representative here of the NTC, no? Kasi trabaho yan ng NTC to make sure that the telcos can actually meet their commitments, their services to the public. Do you have rules in place that dictate to a landing site company when they are supposed to upgrade, or at the very least, if they don't intend to upgrade, when are they supposed to declare maximum clients, or else the bandwidth would be too watered down? So, Mr. Cabarios, ini-inspect ba ninyo to kung full capacity na itong mga landing sites at ang dami-dami nilang customers at may kailangan na sila magpatayo ulit?
Your Honor, good afternoon. Yes, yes.
Mr. Cabarios?
Sir.
Alam, Mr. Cabarios, can you hear
Yes,
me, sir?
yes.
Oh, there.
Yes, I can hear you, Your Honor.
Go ahead. I asked you a question.
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like me to repeat?
Am I getting it clear, Your Honor? No.
Okay. Let me repeat my question, sir. Do you have rules in place that dictate to a landing site company when they are supposed to upgrade? Or at the very least, if they don't intend to upgrade, when are they supposed to declare maximum number of clients, or else the bandwidth would be too watered down?
Your Honor, in order to ensure that sufficient capacity is entering the Philippines, the rules on landing stations, Your Honor, provided that they are passive infrastructures, as building the improving the size, building manholes, building the house or the structure where fiber can terminate, etc. The rules have been relaxed there, Your Honor. You can build without any permit from the commission. The only thing is, if you operate the fiber, that has to be allowed by the commission. Meaning to say, if you light the fiber, then you have the authority. But if you just build a landing station, there is no authority required anymore.
If I understand you right, sir, pagka landing stations, hindi na kailangan ng permiso sa inyo? Yun ba yung sinasabi mo?
Yes, basta passive infrastructure lang, Your Honor. In the same manner as building towers, cell site towers, these are passive. In the same manner also as you install dark fibers in inland dark fibers, those building inland dark fibers need no authority from the commission. If you build just a passive infrastructure, then there's no need for NTC permits, Your Honor.
No, but my question would be this. Don't you have any quarterly or yearly evaluation of the infrastructure of these telco companies to ensure the viability of their service? Pag masyado na silang maraming kinukuhang kliyente pero hindi naman sila nag-e-expand, wala ba kayong
Uh, Your Honor,
criteria?
we have reports, Your Honor, based on the statistics submitted. The volume of traffic handled in 2018 is around 2 exabytes, Your Honor, and it is projected that by 2019, which last year, it has grown to around 5 exabytes, Your Honor. And based on, if you assume a 10-hour use, you only require around 5 terabps. And based on the reports also, the total capacity of international capacity is around 12 terabps. So there's still available capacity. But because traffic is increasing every year, the estimate of around 5 years may also be uh, long. It may just take 3 years and all of this will be consumed. So yes, Your Honor, we are looking at this one. We are closely monitoring the usage of this infrastructure, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Cabarrios, ano ba yung this is part of the resolution filed by Senator Ralph Recto. Actually, it's a bill, an act requiring internet service providers to deliver a minimum standard for internet connection speed. What is the current minimum internet connection speed that is required of them?
We do not have prescribed minimum speed, Your Honor. What we have is we allow them to state the maximum speed and monitor the maximum speed that they're offering. We have rules on how to measure this speed. And the problem, Your Honor, is that they offer, say, maximum speed of 10 Mbps, but the minimum speed stated in their offer is 256 kilobit per second. So the gap is very wide. So we are thinking, Your Honor, of coming up with rules setting percentage of the maximum speed. Say, if they offer 10 Mbps maximum at 70%, or your minimum average should be around 7 Mbps. So these are the things that we are considering as of now.
So what is the average speed right now in the country?
We are relying, Your Honor, on UCLA speed test, and UCLA speed test as of May uh, for for fixed download speed is 22 Mbps, and for
Could
mobile
you repeat that again, sir? How many?
22 Mbps po.
Is our average
Average speed.
really?
Average. UCLA. This is based on UCLA speed test.
Okay. And
And
then regionally, what is the average in the region, in the
the
ASEAN region?
average, the average, Your Honor, for um, speed 20, 31, there's no statement of the regional average, Your Honor. But we will look into it.
So,
For
okay,
mobile, Your Honor, it's
this is the
40.
data that I have, sir. If you
Opo.
are talking about 32 Mbps, is that what you said?
Yes, Your Honor.
32, okay. Is that for the fixed broadband
For
service
fixed is
or for the
22.
mobile?
For fixed is 22, 22.
I'm sorry?
22 Mbps po for fixed.
Okay, for fixed broadband. So 22 Mbps ang ating average.
Yes, opo.
22, okay. Because the average in the ASEAN region is 59 Mbps. So talagang malayo ang gap natin sa kanila.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Mr. Romero initially mentioned a possibility also of us being an archipelago, and I can appreciate that. That it's more extensive to actually build
Yes,
marine
sir. Yes, sir.
cables and infrastructure. But one of the other issues that have been brought up
So sumasagot po
time
ako
and again
sa Senate
is
na.
the problem with cell towers. Am I correct?
Oo, kasi tumawag ko si DICT, hinahanap na raw. Speed, speed. Speed.
Sir, you're still on the line. Mr. Caballos. O sige na nga, hindi bale na. Okay. Okay, di bale na lang. Let's go to Globe or Smart. In our data, at least from reports that were gathered, for you to have your cell towers erected, it takes about 6 to 8 months and 25 permits. Is it still the same way now, even with our ARTA law?
Madam Chair?
Representative from Smart Globe, Dito. Maybe I'll just call the Dito representative.
Your Honor, can you hear me? Madam
Yes, I
Chair?
can hear you.
Yes,
Yes.
allow me to introduce myself, Your Honor. I'm Attorney Adel Tamano. I am the Chief Administrative Officer of Telecommunity. To answer your question directly, Your Honor, the average time is about 6 months. And yes, you need about 24, it differs from LGUs, but it's about 24 to 30 different types of permits. I would say that if it were not for the COVID situation, getting these permits have been not as difficult as we expected. We have had quite good interactions with the different mayors of the cities that we are doing our rollout, and they have been very helpful. So the 6 month period is about the average time to build a tower, Your Honor.
Okay, let me ask. Thank you, Attorney Tamano. Let me ask now, Globe. Are you experiencing the same thing? Has the ARTA or the Anti-Red Tape Act actually helped? Is the NTC helping? How many months does it take for you to obtain a permit to erect a cell tower? And well, how many permits and how long does it take?
Unfortunately, ma'am, Your Honor, it is still the same for Globe. We still experience about 6 to 9 months to build one tower, and the number of permits are still the same despite the ARTA, the passage of ARTA. It is not actually the problem there, Your Honor. It's not actually that the period of time for the issuance of those permits, but as to the nature of the permits, that is actually the problem.
Let me ask the NTC. Mr. Cabarrios, kung tapos na kayo sa conversation niyo dyan, hindi ba dapat ang NTC tinututukan at tinutulungan ang mga telcos para makapagpatayo sila ng infrastruktura? Ang alam ko, kayo na lang ang dapat nag-i-issue ng permit dito sa pagtatayo ng cell towers, hindi ba ganon?
Ay, hindi po. Kasi yun nasa building code po kasi na all structures doon sa local governments, local government units ang magbibigay ng permit. Nasa
Okay.
building code po.
Obviously, nasa implementation ngayon ng batas na to na hindi sinusunod. Dapat yung Anti-Red Tape Act, pinuputol yung application time to I think at the most 2 weeks or even less, hindi ba?
Opo, yes. Opo.
We'll have to review that when it comes to the implementation of these telecommunications infrastructure. I see that Secretary Rio is also here. Thank you for your presence, Secretary Rio. Sec Rio. I think that for DICT, they have an official representative right now. I will get to Secretary Rio in a bit, but I would like to hear from the DICT because they've come up with a memo on the common cell tower policy. So I'd like to ask them about this. Is the DICT official representative present today?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. Uh, where are you, sir? There is a new memo that was released by the DICT. So this is on the use of the common tower circular. Am I correct?
Yes, Madam Chair. Apart from the Department Circular 008 for the Common Tower policy, we are now in talks with the Anti-Red Tape Authority, the Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Interior and Local Government, the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. Our objective is to drastically reduce the number of permits for common tower permitting. The target is to reduce up to 52% the number of steps, up to 52% the duration, and in accordance to the Republic Act 11032 or Ease of Doing Business Act. Narapat po namin na kami ang mauna sa initiative po ng ARTA called Maya that would streamline these processes. And apart from that, Madam Chair, we're also creating a common tower permitting portal, one-stop shop, so that ang trabaho po ng mga common tower companies or tower companies, tower builders, is to submit in full all the requirements. Tapos kami na po ang mismo magta-track at maglalako doon sa other agencies na kailangan mag-permit para matrack natin, may time stamping at mamamonitor natin kung in-observance pa rin po sa Ease of Doing Business Act. So we're trying to make sure the enforceability is assured. Therefore, we are also appealing to the LGUs and the homeowners associations to observe the proposed timelines in this reduced common tower permitting process. That is it,
Alam
Mr.
nyo, Mr. Kaintik, no, matagal na kasi yan matagal nang dapat na hindi ganyan katagal ang pagproseso ng mga permits nila. So ngayon, ang DICT ba ang namumuno or mag-oversee para yung compliance ay yung actually lahat ng requirements para sa compliance ay maging mas mabilis. Kasi ito sa inyong tower circular, LGUs, NGAs, barangays, homeowners, and other community permits or clearances shall have mandatory timelines for processing and approving applications. Automatic approval mechanisms apply if the granting authority fails to approve or disapprove within the prescribed period.
Yes po, Madam Chair. Kami na po ang spearhead ng mismong approval process at pina-finalize namin yung mga final timelines para pagpirmahan na kami with all these 6 agencies ng joint
So,
Tapos na po
pag
kami sa
sinabi mong napirmahan, is this going to be a memorandum of understanding?
a joint memorandum circular po, Madam Chair, and it will be enforceable po, Madam Chair.
So that will be in collaboration with the DILG, the DPWH, Human Settlements, at mga ganon? Yun ba yung sinasabi ninyo?
Yes po, Madam Chair. Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines as well po, Madam Chair.
Okay, I will monitor this, Mr. Kaintik, ha? Kasi ang tagal-tagal na nito, we are really short on cell towers compared to other countries. And we can't use as an excuse that we're an archipelago because in this particular case, you don't need to have marine cables for this. Ito naman ay mga structures lang. So I will keep in touch with our office, and I want you to please update me regularly with regards to this.
Madam Chair, my office is the one that's spearheading this effort itself. We started the talks with all the six agencies with ARTA last January, and we have just concluded our stakeholder meetings. So we had a consultation last week. So finishing touches na lang po, Madam Chair.
Alam mo, coordination talaga ang kailangan natin. So actually, our cell reception pala lies in your hands, Mr. Kaintik, ha? Sa inyo pala talaga nakasalala yan. Kung kayo ay magtatagumpay na pagsamasamahin lahat yan at magkasundo-sundo, mas bibilis yung pagro-roll out. I would like to ask,
May susunod pa po kami, ma'am.
how many do you have now? How many cell sites do you have in the pipeline that's being built? Right now, how many do we have in the country? We have about 16,000 cell sites, right? 16 to 20,000. What exact numbers do we have? About 16,000. Okay. How many do you plan to build, Globe?
Madam, we got about, I don't know with the exact numbers of Dito and Smart, but we could estimate about more than 20,000 towers already existing as of today.
Okay, and how many does Globe want to build?
As many as we can, Your Honor.
Have you started, or are there any in the pipeline right now, or are you actually under constructing some?
Yeah, we have put up the biggest OPEX for the year to build more sites, but the problem is we're still underspend the pandemic. But it's our ambition really to build more number of cells as much as possible.
Actually, you know what, attorney, what you're saying, if we can submit that in writing, because unfortunately, and it's quite ironic, we're talking about connection, and our connection is so bad. I mean, even here in the Senate, our connection is not exactly ideal, and it's so difficult to understand what you guys are saying. Anyway, I'd like to talk to Smart as well. Please give me a report on the number of cells towers you have and how many you have under construction. Smart. Hindi tayo marinig. Okay, Dito Communication. Is it Dito or Dito?
Dito, as in here, Your Honor. So right
Okay.
now, Madam Chairman, we have 1,300 towers currently being built. 300 of them are actually live. Within this year, we hope to finish about 2,000. And by the end of our commitment period, our goal internally as a company is 10,000 towers built.
Okay. So you're saying that, could you repeat again, how many cell towers have you built so far?
Right now, Madam Chair, we have 1,300 that are in various stages of completion. Out of this 1,300, 300 are already completed and live, meaning that they are operational. And in fact, we have already calls. Within the year, Madam Chair, we will finish 2,000. And by the end of our 5-year, we hope to finish 10,000 cell towers in the Philippines.
Okay, because I'm having difficulty hearing you, but let me repeat. By July 2020, a year after Dito was granted its certificate of public conveyance, Dito is expected to build cell towers in 2,500 locations and provide at least 37% of the population at a minimum internet speed of 27 Mbps. Okay, over the next 5 years, Dito also committed to increase coverage to 84% of the population at a minimum internet speed of 27 Mbps. But Ito has constructed 600 cell towers, and it's expected to finish the remaining 1,600 by July. But according to Dito's chief technology officer, 1,600 cell sites are enough to meet the 37 coverage requirement. So right now, can you repeat again? How many cell sites have you already constructed?
Yes, Madam Chair, and apologies if my internet connection is not as good as I'd like. I hope you can hear me now. Currently, Madam Chair, we have 1,300 towers in construction. 300 of them are already live. It is our plan that within this year, 2,000 towers will be completed. Now, to get the 37% coverage, that is our requirement under our CPCN, we only need not 1,600 towers, Your Honor, but rather only 1,300 towers, Your Honor.
Agreement. You were supposed to have delivered 2,500 hours by July, right? Of
Yes,
this
yes, Your
year.
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Only at 1,300. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor. The COVID and the lockdowns have prevented us from our full rollout. With the subsequent easing of the different lockdown situations, we are doing our best to get back on track so that we can get the 37% first year requirement under our CPCN completed.
So, but by July, but by you will build the remaining number of cell.
Again, Madam Chair, I did not hear the last
Because
part.
you're not able to deliver the agreed 2,500. So when do you expect to be able to the remaining need to be built?
Okay, Madam Chair, I didn't hear the question fully because it was a bit choppy. But within this year, Madam Chair, we will build 2,000 towers. That will exceed already the 37% population requirement under our CPC.
Okay. I think that Secretary Rio can enlighten us because Secretary Rio one time mentioned that actually Dito cannot invoke force majeure or protection due to COVID. I realize the challenges there is now. Maybe Secretary Rio, if you're still
Yes,
aware,
ma'am.
because you were the one that we were really consulting with regards to this, and we believe in your integrity. When it comes to the Dito communications to
On their
fulfill
commitment,
the
madam.
requirements, sir?
Yes, ma'am, Mr. Che. Ma'am, um, yes, Dito has committed in its terms of reference in the selection process that by, I think, July 8th, it will have 27 megabits per second speed and about 37% coverage, population coverage. That is their first year commitment. However, in the same terms of reference, they are given, if they fail to have that, well, technical audit, not commercial, madam, but technical audit by July 8th, they're given 6 months to satisfy their commitment. So that means up to the end of the year. And they have not, as far as I know, they have not requested for any uh, uh, postponement of that commitment, madam. So, and we heard that from Attorney Adel Tamano that they are confident that by end of this year they will have 2,000, which is more than the committed number that they have in their terms of reference. So that is where those figures are coming from. So definitely they are saying that they could not have the 1,300 finished by July 8. That's already next week. But definitely it will be finished by before December 31. And that is still within the requirements or condition or provision of the terms of reference, Madam.
They're not
And
able to.
if I may add, Ma'am, if I may add,
Go ahead, sir.
their commercial, they will commence commercial operation as per their franchise on March of 2021.
Okay. They are allowed 2 grace periods, right? 2 grace
Yes,
periods
ma'am.
if they're not able to fulfill one of their committed um, service. So two
Yes,
grace
ma'am.
periods, but if they're not able to comply further, then they have to forfeit 25.7 billion in performance bonds.
That's it's
Is it
correct, Madam. If they could not comply by July 8, then that's their strike one.
okay?
If sometime in the future they will again could not comply, maybe the third year commitment or the second year commitment, that will be strike two. And within the 5-year period, uh, that the next non-compliance would forfeit their performance bond.
Okay. Thank you, sir. We will hopefully we can continue our consultation with you because you are really privy to this agreement with Dito since you were one of the ones that really scrutinized that agreement. Um,
Yeah.
thank you,
But
sir.
I'll be available, ma'am,
Madam,
anytime.
Salamat, sir. Actually, ganito, no? I would like to continue this hearing after we thrash out this problem with our connection. This is quite ironic, again, that we are having connectivity issues in a hearing on connectivity. So it's just telling the situation in our country today and how we are trying to cope with this new requirement that we all need to have fulfilled. Now, before before I actually adjourn, no, suspend this hearing, I want to go through for presentations of the 3 franchises that are applying now, those that are applying for the 3 franchises. But before that, I would like to ask first Globe Smart and maybe Converge if they have a minimum speed right now that they are complying with. Ano yung minimum speed of internet with your service? Globe, can I have that?
Uh,
Sir, your mic. Go
okay.
ahead.
Let me give to you, Madam Senator, our plans for broadband. The lowest denomination is 5 Mbps for 999 pesos a month, and the fastest is at the 200 Mbps at 4,449 pesos a month.
Art?
Madam Chair, if I may be recognized, I'm not from Smart but from PLDT.
Okay.
I would just like to give you that for PLDT, the lowest plan we have for our fiber service is for plan 1299, that's 10 Mbps, Madam Chair.
Okay. Um, How about Converge?
In the case of Converge, for its Fiber X service, the lowest plan is 25 megabits for 1,500 pesos.
Wow, parang mas mabilis yung ito, ha?
Yes,
25.
because it's a purely internet service.
So it's actually cheaper with you?
Sorry?
Does it seem cheaper? 1,500 for 25 Mbps, am I correct?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Parang mas mura yun, di ba?
In terms of related speeds po, it is cheaper. Although ours is internet only. I
Okay.
think the other providers probably have like telephone service or other services. But yes, on a basic internet basis, it is cheaper.
Parang mas mura yun. Kasi PLDT fiber up to 20 Mbps, 1,699. Tapos Globe naman up to 25, 1,899. So you're actually cheaper than them.
Yes.
Ganito. Why is it that way, Globe and Smart? I mean, you're bigger, you actually have more infrastructure, and yet you're charging more.
Madam Chair, offering postpaid telephone service, landline service.
Okay, well, maybe it's bundled, but this is quite telling also. I would like to ask if for this new situation and hybrid educational system that we have, and this is another concern that we need to address today before we suspend this hearing. What are the telecommunications companies offering the academic institutions, and how are they going to be supported through online learning? Meron ba kayong discounted program para sa educational system, for educators, for students? I would like to hear Smart, Globe, and Converge. Go ahead. Sinong mauuna? Smart? Smart first. PLDT?
Madam Chair, for PLDT, we are currently our business groups are currently in talks with the Department of Education for a plan to offer a service that will not only provide internet connectivity but bundled with gadgets that they would be needing. The details at present, Your Honor, has not been fleshed out, but they're currently in discussion with the Department of Education, as I believe also Globe is. So these are the things. Apart from, of course, we've already given speed boost across all our subscribers. A permanent speed boost. Other than that, we did a temporary speed boost during the time of the pandemic, the ECQ, where majority of our population have gone working from home and or studying from home. So these things we've been doing so far, apart from the current talks that we've been having with the Department of Education, Your Honor.
How about for
Your
Globe?
Honor, Your Honor, I could confirm Attorney Rejo's statement that it's actually the industry is in talks with the DepEd as well as the CHED, also the offering for the students and for gadget as well as the training for the teachers. Your Honor, that's part of the discussions, right? And we
How
hope that
much?
in the next
What is the minimum Mbps required to have a clear signal for educators and the students?
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it depends on the applications that will be run. No, from 10 Mbps to 20 Mbps would be required as discussed during forums regard to distance learning requirements. And let me just add to what my colleague from PLDT mentioned that even during the pandemic, I think both the BLDT group and Globe offered free access, no, to the DepEd Commons. At, as far as I know, over 2 million users during the April to May period access the DepEd portal by the Department of Education, where a lot of educational uh, were repository for online education. And both PLDT Group and I think Globe offered the free website access. Even if you didn't have load, you can access the Ed Commons, Madam Chair.
Can you submit for the tips with the
Madam Chair?
Department of Education
Madam Chair?
office? And I have also, I think, present in our meeting today is our hearing today is an educator. He was
Madam
the one who
Chair?
was featured. I'm sorry. Is somebody
Yes, Madam Chair. Sen Nancy.
Senator Bina? Yes. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tatanong ko lang dun sa SMART, since it was mentioned yung program nila with DepEd Commons, yung free ba na ino-offer nila was only good during the pandemic? Hindi ba ito, kumbaga forever free na for our students?
Being studied whether the free access will be continued. But I think even as to now, I think, Madam Chair,
Yes, it's still free.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah.
I tried accessing, tapos nakasulat nga doon na the service is free. So, hindi pala to permanent arrangement. Not yet.
It's because not yet. No, it's still being studied in coordination with DepEd, Madam Chair.
Okay. And Madam Chair, curious lang ako, ano bang MPBS natin sa Senate?
I think a provider smart, ano? Sino bang provider ng Senate?
Because I mean, whatever, kung ano man yung MPBS natin, apparently it's not good enough because we're having problems with our connection.
Exactly. Ha? Converge daw. Ako. Baka kaya mura.
And siguro, Madam Chair, just to share because I've attended several online hearings, I think yung committee hearing mo today, yung pinakamasama yung signal.
Di ba? Talagang ganun nga. Alam mo, I think sinasabotahe ito eh. Ay, akala nyo, titigilan ko kayo? Hindi. Dahil if I have to require physical presence here next time, I will. This is the worst, actually. I've attended the 2 hearings too. And the last hearing, I think, of Senator Win, the one that couldn't connect was NPC. So,
Yeah.
talagang anything that had to do with technical topics, yun pa yung nagkakaproblema. Anyway, Senator Nancy, we have actually with us also is an educator, Mr. Kabutahe, if I'm correct with that name. Siya yung na-feature na naghahanap ng signal, umakyat yata sa puno para magkaroon ng signal. Do we have him online now, Mr. Kabutahe? Nawala ng signal si Mr. Kabutahe. So I
Chair, baka naghahanap pa ng puno na aakyatin.
Huwag naman sana mahulog di ba? Pero ito lang, comedy of errors na talaga lahat ito Lumalabas yung simptomas ng talagang sakit, no, na dapat nating gamutin.
Chair, can I just, Madam
yes,
Chair? Can I
ahead,
just follow up
please.
with DICT? Kasi during the hearing of Senator Gatchalian, I asked if they have a map kung saan nakaplot yung ano ba yung connectivity. Meron bang ganon? Because they have not submitted yet to the committee of Senator Gatchalian. Hindi ko alam, baka si Secretary Rios would know or somebody, yung si ASEC kanina would know.
As a kaintik, ma'am, would know.
I'm sorry, we lost our connection momentarily. Was your question answered, Senator Binay?
I couldn't hear si ASEC Kaintik eh. I would just like to have a follow-up dun sa mapping. Because, di ba, parang yung magiging planning ng DepEd would depend on the connectivity.
Correct. Yes. So,
Madam Chair,
go ahead, please.
nakamute lang po ako kayo. We have a mapping of our free Wi-Fi sites. We can furnish this office, the Senate, a copy of that map. It's actually an interactive map. It's a GPS map. We can run it through you in a different forum na lang. We have that ready, and that will show where are the exact locations of our free Wi-Fi sites. As to the presence of the telco towers, that will be the domain of NTC po. And that will show you the coverage of where and they're supposed to know where the cell phone towers of each of these telcos should be, ma'am. Thank you po, Madam Chair.
Yes, NTC, kung meron silang available data. And if they can provide the committee.
Your Honor, we will check. We have the data on station licenses where the base stations are connected to cell sites. So we can, based on the raw data that we have, we can come up with where these cell sites are.
Chair.
Apo. Yes, apo.
Senator Binay, sorry. We will have the questions that you have, the information that you need gathered by the ComSec to be forwarded to you. Is that what you were requesting?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. I think it's safe to say that the connection today is awful, to say the least. It's so difficult to understand. Even I have to do a double take. But there are certain companies now that are applying for their franchises. And if they would, I would like to give them an opportunity at least to give an introduction on their company so that we can study this again in the committee and suspend this while we are reviewing your application. Let's begin with the representative of Cruz Telephone Company Incorporated. A brief description on your company profile, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Magandang hapon po, Madam Chair. Just a brief description of our company po. Ang aming pong kumpanya ay nagsimula po noong 1973 pa. Kami po ay nag-ooperate ng telephone system for more than, 47 years na po. Actually, we're operating in the rural areas, mostly in the rural areas and suburban areas in the Philippines. Currently, we have exchanges in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We're providing not only basic telephony but also broadband services. While we're trying to address, as the discussion earlier, where we're trying to address the speed of the internet in the country, companies like us in the rural areas are also concerned with um, uh, filling up the infrastructure gaps, especially in the rural areas. Marami po sa ating mga lugar ah, na hindi pa po naaabot ng internet man lang, kahit na po yung mabagal na internet. Kaya po isa ito sa mga aming binabalak puntahan, at gusto po namin puntahan. Marami pa po tayong lugar na kailangang servisyohan, na ma-marginalize po because of the lack of infrastructure. Ito po ang aming misyon, na mapuntahan po itong mga lugar na to sa ating bansa. Meron nga po kami mong proyekto na ipinresenta diyan po nga sa aming dokumentong isinabmit sa Senado, na para po makapag-provide at least initially in 153 cities and municipalities in the countryside, Your Honor. So, maasa po kami na ito pong aming application ay renewal po. So, maasa po kami na kami mapagbibigyan po ng Senado dito po sa aming application para po ma-renew at makapagsilbi po tayo sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na po sa ating rural areas. Salamat po.
Your Honor, please. This is Attorney Castello from the Globe Group representing International Communications Corporation, or Bayan Telecommunications Company, or Bayan Tel. First of all, Your Honor, thank you for taking up time and hearing this application for renewal of Bayan Tel. Bayan Tel is a fully operational telecom company and authorized by National Telecommunications Commission to operate local exchange carrier service, IGF, CMTS, digital telephone exchanges, trunk radio system, and cable landing stations that link the Philippines and the U.S. As of March 2019, Bayantel serves a total of not less than 110 subscribers in wired, fixed line, wireless home broadband, fixed line broadband, both residential and business. Bayantel is part of the Globe Group. Sometime in the early 2000s, Bayantel underwent court rehabilitation. In 2012, Globe launched tender offer for Bayantel's debts, and as of 2015, Globe acquired 98% of Bayantel's debts, which were converted to equity and was approved by the rehabilitation court. Globe thereafter in 2015 concluded the transfer of the shares of the Lopez Group to gain full control of Bayantel. As of date, Globe now owns 19.57% of Bayantel. The rehabilitation of Bayantel was terminated in 2015. From Globe's perspective, the inclusion of Bayantel to the Globe Group allows the intrinsic value of Bayantel as a nationally enfranchised entity. Globe has big ambitions for Bayantel. It will be the carrier that will serve and deliver to the SMEs, the small, medium enterprise customers. It will be the counterpart of Innove in that field, while Innove serves the corporate business customers as well as home broadband. Based on our study, there's still 20% of the SME market which remains unserved with SME-grade telco services. Bayantel shall handle the current SME customers of Globe Group and shall endeavor to capture the 20% of the unserved market. With the help of this committee of the Senate, this will be a reality for Bayantel. From a debt-ridden company under rehabilitation to a fully operational servicing telco serving the public. Bayantel hereby commits, Your Honor, that it shall abide all the laws of this country as well as the rules and regulations of the regulator, the MTC. Thank you, Your Honor, for your time and attention.
Well, Attorney, with regards to the applications now for renewal and also for franchises, we will actually have another hearing for this. We will review the submissions once more. But I would also like to ask, Attorney Castello, you have Globe already, the franchise for Globe. You have the franchise for Innovate. And then you have a franchise also for Bayan Tel. Is there a reason why you need this many franchises?
Your Honor, it is because really of the nature of the franchises and the facilities and the subscriber base of that particular franchise, Your Honor, which is actually the value being contributed to the Globe Group, Your Honor.
Okay, I think that we will study this further. Thank you, Attorney Castello. Now I would like to, we will deviate a bit, just to include this here, so that at least when we resume session in July, then it will cut our work time with regards to these franchises. We have Tandag Electric and Telephone Company Incorporated. Do we have the representative here for Tandag?
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Your Honor. I am Alvin T., the president of Tandag Electric and Telephone Company. And we operate in the area of Surigao del Sur. We've been here, our franchise was granted in 1990. And hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Go ahead, Mr. T.
Oh, okay. Yes, Madam Chair. Yes, we offered the people of Surigao del Sur. We started with the public calling office, and then we offered landline services. But unfortunately, after about a few years of operation of providing landline services, the cellular phone came into existence, and there was less and less demand for the landline telephone. So we did not have much expansion, but actually right now that the internet now is around, so we are already providing internet services to our subscribers here in Surigao del Sur, and our goal is to make the people of Surigao del Sur enjoy whatever people in the cities or in the urban areas are enjoying, to make Surigao del Sur at par with all the modern cities with regards to telecommunications. And the challenge though here in Surigao or in Mindanao is the availability of bandwidth right now, and it's really so expensive compared to the ones in Luzon. So hopefully, bandwidth prices will go down, and it will be affordable. And another problem, by the way, is also the availability of bandwidth actually, because our providers like the big telcos like Globe, Smart, and now IPS, they don't have the proper infrastructure to provide us with the bandwidth requirements. But actually, we are doing our best right now. We are installing fiber optics, and we are trying to reach as many towns and barangays as possible. And we have also coordinated with the Department of Education with regards to the online learning right now, so that we hopefully will be able to assist them and partner with them in the provision of internet to the schools and some of the students. So our goal really is to really make all this available to the people of Surigao del Sur. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. T, in fact, we need to probably have some of your existing customers give some sort of uh, a review of the services that you provided them in the past. But I also know that we have here Congressman Johnny Pimentel, who I think would like to maybe have some additional points on your presentation. Kong Pimentel.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, I am attending the hearing just in case there's a need to present the explanatory note on House Bill number 6373. But as a testament to the good services of TETCO, I am one of their subscribers, and for the past how many years, they have been delivering their services to the people of Tandag, which is city which is quite remote. So maganda naman ho ang serbisyo ng TEDCO, wala naman hong problema, wala naman hong mga reklamo ng constituents natin, and I hope that the committee will consider the approval of his franchise, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Pimentel. Well, if you have this character witness or company profile witness here, then at least we know that we have the Congressman Pimentel guaranteeing that you've actually provided that service to your area in Tandag. So we will take that, of course, into consideration. That will really weigh heavily also in our decision, the testimony of Congressman Pimentel. So with that, because I think I don't want to prolong our suffering anymore, straining ourselves, trying to understand each other with this horrible connection that we have. If I can, I would like to thank all of our resource persons and ask for your understanding with regards to our connection today. I think that this will be part of the committee report, how in the Senate itself, we are experiencing some challenges with this new way of conducting our hearings. So with that, unfortunately, I cannot conclude this hearing yet. So I will suspend this hearing until the next time when we tackle again all the issues that we presented today. With that, thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you, Your
Thank you.
Honor.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ang dami, oh.
Each video is 1 meg.
Saan natin makakamit ang Senate?